Go
Great.
ahead.
Great. Thank you so much. It has two big problems that I know are because I've done a lot to this site and I have moved it. But like the GMB when I started with some of your strategies was probably at 30 and now it's at 18.
Okay.
The website is at 18 also, I think. So, and that was at like 35. So it's definitely moving, but it has two major problems. One is metal, the primary is metal supplier. Contractor.
Can you add me onto the GMB real quick so I can look at it? Use this email address I'm gonna put in here. I'm gonna try to do it myself, if you give me permission to, but it's a local guide account. It is a level 10 account.
Awesome.
If I try it, well, I'll look at the back, and before I do anything, I'll get your permission, because there's any chance that you do anything, sometimes can get suspensions.
Well, and that's why and I'm going to go ahead and get to it, but before you try it, just to tell you, I listened to one of your short videos the other day, and it was really about getting a suspension lifted. But
DBA and everything else.
So and I got a DBA for a long time ago for protection, because it's basically just niche location, and I've already had to fend off several attacks. And I have the same thing for New Orleans and Kenner, which is a suburb of New Orleans, and those are my biggest sites. But when I set it up, you recommended, you said it needs to be the same address. Well,
same address, everything.
Incidentally, this one is, because I had to do it from my home address. The other ones, I'm going to have to go back and fix that, because it's not. Hold on, I'm getting in there.
As soon as you do that, I can look at it on the back end.
Yeah. So I think I'm set up that if the worst case scenario happens, users, hold on, I'm trying to find it. Here it is. Okay. I want to be sure that my DBA is set up in case the worst case scenario happens and I have to use that.
Because worst case scenario, when you have a DBA, the very first thing they're going to ask for generally your business license, and they're going to ask for a utility bill, and your name and your address has to match exactly, because if it doesn't, they can look at that and be like, well, it's not the same address, it's not especially the business name. And a lot of people do that all the time. And then whenever they go to submit it, they're going to get a message back. It's going to deny them. Right. Anytime I've had a DBA, and I'm not the only one that teaches this. Chris Palmer and a couple other guys will tell you the same thing. But basically, when you have the DBA and I submit that to them, within 5-10 minutes, the suspension is taken care of and fixed. And I'm already reinstated every time I've done it.
It won't let me copy and paste, so it's FILAMRUCH Rush
RUSH@gmail.com.
Okay,
FILAMRUSH@gmail.com.
Okay.
And once I get that, we'll do it live. I'll go ahead and try it, because I have what I normally suggest is, if you're trying, how old is the GMB to?
Guessing around a year. Maybe not quite a year. Do I need to be an owner?
Nope, make me a manager. Okay. I went over that on another video. Never, ever, 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 ever make anybody an owner, because what will happen, you have a lot of unscrupulous SEOs out there will go, and you make them an owner, and then if you cut their services, or they get pissed off at you, or they're just having a bad coffee day or whatever, they'll go, well, I don't like that. Karen girl or Karen lady, and they'll take over your GMB and delete you as the owner, because giving them ownership rights gives them the ability to basically remove you.
Yeah.
And then you have to go and prove to them that it's actually yours. And, that can be a long drawn out process. Let's go ahead and do a screen share real quick. So yeah, Karen, let's look at a couple of things. I'll look at a couple of things while I'm in here anyway. So let's go to info. So you've done a couple of things, but so you're a metal supplier, but you want to flip this, right? So
yeah,
flipping essentially just means you have a non-main category, a category that allowed you to get in, and you want to switch it to
correct.
The correct one, which is fence. So what we would normally do.
Let me just point out one other major problem with this is because I am not this is Baton Rouge Fence Company. I'm trying to rank for Baton Rouge. I'm actually in a little town that's outside of Baton Rouge called Zachary. So I'm not,
we'll look at all of it.
Okay.
Because there's a couple other things you got going on here. Like a lot of people will go for their service area too. They'll go, well, let me add all these service areas in, and I'll show you what that simply does. All that does, what most people don't understand, I'm not saying you, but most people in general don't understand, is all a service area does, and putting all those little addresses in is give you this nice little area map. It does nothing for ranking, does nothing for your GNB by putting all those little service fucking areas in there.
Okay.
Some people will say it does. I have not seen it affect anything. What I normally do is, if you had an address attached to it, which I always want an address attached to everything. I always want an address showing, but I know sometimes you can't do it. So I'm just going to leave the service.
I do that with my home address.
Yeah, I understand. I would leave the service areas alone. But personally, if you are trying to serve Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I'll show you all I would do personally, just me. Get rid of all this and just leave Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Okay. Personally, that's what I would do. It's going to be under review. I don't want to do anything. Now, what I used to do,
I know
the secret was that the control F5,
right?
And I would get things instantaneously accepted. And now I'm kind of scared as shit to even do any of that, because sometimes you'll actually get a suspension. I remember actually adding inside of the title name, right? Before actually being able to put in keywords and stuff like that, and instantaneously get accepted, and that doesn't happen anymore. That actually will get you instantaneously suspended anymore. So I'm gonna try it and just see. All right, it accepted it. Good.
Right. All right. Good. It's a good time.
All right, so now let's try this.
Do you want to look at my DBA first, or know anything about it first?
Nah, the DBA doesn't matter with your category.
Well, let me just
DBA is your business.
Well, so I know, but if I have to go the whole route of reinstatement or.
So if you can, send me over. Can you email me your DBA real quick?
Yeah. Okay, and I'll just tell you this while I actually let me pull up the record on Secretary of State. That's probably better, and I'll take a screenshot. It's in my business name, Oak Lane.
Which is what?
Oak Lane LLC. Yeah. Okay, so that might have been a mistake.
Okay, so no. So your business name is Oak Lane LLC, but there's a difference between a business name and a DBA. Okay, your business name can be one thing, and then the DBA is different. Okay, and what's the DBA?
The DBA is owned. What I mean is, it's owned by Oak Lane, but it's in the name of Baton Rouge Fence Company.
Well, that's fine then.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's cool.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and try this real quick. So fence company. All right, your metal supplier, and we want to get rid of that. We want to get the fencing contractor up here, right? And we want to delete that one and hit apply. Normally, suspensions don't happen from category changes.
Really?
Unless it's like a spammy ass category, which I don't think personally fencing contractor spammy. Like spammy to me is like locksmith, towing, pain relief, medication, stuff like that. The ones that usually get suspensions are going to be your title and your address. But I'm not going to change it. I'm going to have most people when they come in and work on a GMB, they act like the SEO. What do I mean by that? Right? Is to take this as kind of like a learning experience for everyone is they go, let me edit the business name and immediately hit F5 or immediately change something else. And that's what a typical SEO will do. But a business owner will change it and leave, or maybe change it and wait a few minutes and change something else because the business owner's on the phone. He's doing all other types of shit. And so I try to mimic the behavior of a business owner. Like I'm not going to edit and immediately refresh it. I'm not going to edit it and immediately go to something else. So we've given it a few minutes, you know, and hit fence contractor, and I'm going to hit Control F5 just to see. Fingers crossed. Praise you, Jesus.
Come on.
And it accepted it.
No way. Okay, so wait a minute. How likely is it like tomorrow I'm suspended?
So we'll wait. No, usually suspensions usually happen like bam. Suspensions all, you know, suspension, if they're going to suspend you for changing something, usually it happens like instantaneously. It's not a matter of, you know, they may come back, you know, days later, but it's usually if you've changed the business name, like you'll never see me move my mouse like this over certain things. Those are called happy signals.
Wait, like what?
Like making circular circles,
right. Okay,
or
wait.
scrolling like this over certain things. Those can actually send signals as well to Google. So what I tend to do is do very specific things. I was getting suspensions just from changing a domain name at one point.
Oh, wow.
So we changed the service area. We've changed the business category. So we're going to go ahead and stop recording on that one.